Good morning, Facebook friends. I hope you guys are having a great Saturday morning. I've even lost track of the days. I think it's July 7th. Hopefully the wind chimes aren't too loud. My niece and business partner, Kristin, is going to be popping on in just a minute. We're going to try and do something together here. So just bear with me for a minute because this is the first time we've done it, and it may take a couple minutes to get to get everything going the way that we expect. I think. Do I add you, Kristin? Let's see. Okay, here, I'm going to add you, Kristin. All right, Kristin's. Oh, good. There we go. I think I've got Kristin coming. I see her adding on here. Hi, Yuki. Good morning. I hope you're doing great. Such a gorgeous morning. I can't tell you, the last week I have more appreciation for people who live without air conditioning. And, I know let's see. Sorry, I have to respond to this. I got to approve you, Kristin. Sorry. There's already guests in this broadcast. Kristin, I'm having a hard time adding you on. We might have to okay, I'm going to invite you again. Let's see. Let's try that one more time. Let's do this. Okay, add again. Bring Kristin, Hillary. Sorry, guys, I'm reading this out loud because I can't see either. Okay, good. Let's do this. All right, let's try again, Kristin. I think I've done the right thing.
Hey,
it's working.
There we go.
That's fantastic.
I had to go change my microphone settings, so I think it just got a little confused.
Oh, yes, of course. That's
morning.
Good morning. Technology is so fun.
Yeah.
So it's fun to be here doing this together. We are geographically separate by a couple of hours, so that's pretty cool. And but we're having a conversation just like we're in the same room, which is really exciting. So we wanted to talk with everybody about Rodan+Fields because it is something that's near and dear to our hearts. It's brought us together in a different way. Kristin, as I mentioned, is my niece, so I've known her since she was a little tiny baby. We always had fun together, and now we get to continue that with our businesses. And so this is going to be my 6-year Rodan anniversary this year. July 21st, 2012 was when I started my Rodan+Fields business. So, but I'd love to hear and talk a little bit more, Kristin, about, I know why I was excited about Rodan+Fields, but, I'd love to hear, you were working full time when you started your business. I'd love to hear why, Rodan+Fields even interested you in the first place.
Well, it interested me. I'd never heard of it prior to you starting your business. And I really thought you'd lost your mark. It was not something that screamed Robin Kochka. And so I was, really confused. But of course, that made me even more curious to understand why you'd done it. And, you wanted to do a little training. So you shared your story with me and shared a little bit about R+F. And honestly, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I didn't have a strong reason that I needed to do it. I was working full time. Mike and I were up in New Jersey, living the child-free near New York City life, and I had no super compelling reason to do it. But what killed me about it was for literally 2 nights, all I could think about was, well, what if I don't do it? And that's the thing that really made me want to. It was this idea that there was such a cool opportunity that I could jump into, and that I didn't have to stop doing what I was doing full time. I really liked my marketing career. So I loved the idea that I could do it alongside of that. And I loved the idea of all the possibilities. It was really that possibility factor that hooked me in.
Right. Yeah, I can relate to that because when I first learned about Rodan+Fields, I was definitely not looking for a skincare business, right? And I actually had somebody say, well, gosh, Robin, you're too smart to do this business. And my response to them, initially I was a little bit taken aback by that. Yeah. And I thought, and whatever, compliments, nice to be, considered intelligent. But as I thought about it, I was like, well, maybe then you need to think about this, because if I'm not smart, then there's something really of value in Rodan+Fields. And for me, I have a background in nonprofit management. You know this, but in nonprofit management education. And we were at a point where I'd been able to stay at home for many years, and I loved that with my kids. We were really comfortable financially, and I always knew I'd go back to work, and just thought it would be back in education would be my second career. And I did that for a few years and realized that in order to get ahead, I'd have to spend more time away from my family, working harder, getting more education, spending more money on that. And it just wasn't realistic at that point in time in our lives. We really, my kids were young. I just didn't think that the trade-offs were going to be beneficial for our long-term future happiness as well as financial well-being. And when I learned about Rodan+Fields, the same doctors who created Proactive, of course, everybody knows that. We knew that they'd been successful before. And like you, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I thought, holy cow, they're going to go places with or without me. I might as well do it with them.
Sure.
And I can learn a lot, right? I could learn a whole lot about business and, amazing. Just the people I'd met were so down to earth and really professional and really just energized and excited. And that was so nice and refreshing to be around that. I actually started my business going out of town. I, was so excited. I was going on vacation when I started my business because I knew I could do it. Just wherever I had a phone, like we're doing now, right? I'm on a phone and here we are talking. So
6 years later, what has surprised you the most about it?
Oh, that's a great question. I think the thing that surprised me, there are a few things that really surprised me about Rodan+Fields in a really great way. Hi, Shauna. How are you? Sorry, I got distracted looking at the people hopping on. So the things that surprised me, one that I, would love it as much as I do, because, skincare really wasn't in my wheelhouse. I washed my face, of course, but I didn't think a whole lot would come of, skincare. I just thought, whatever, it's just skincare. But I found that the products really did a great job in helping to minimize my fine lines and wrinkles. And of course, when I came back and had somebody asking me, like, did you lose weight or did you get your hair cut? Like trying to find that compliment. And the only thing I'd done was start skincare. I was like, okay, maybe it works. But really the great community of people and the things that I'm able to do now that I never thought I would, just never imagined myself doing, like, and not even, we hear about traveling and, fun things like that. But even within my community, I'm really, really involved with my community. I'm able to be involved with my church. I run our church school program. And now this year coming up, I get to be the chair of our women's conference, which is really, really exciting because I'm all about helping people, empowering people. One of the things I loved about education was the fact that, I'd be able to help people reframe their stories and skills.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah.
I can relate to that. I think the thing for me that's been the most surprising is the real power behind the actual business model. That I've gotten to empower women has been so much fun. I've gotten the chance to meet a lot of women that I wouldn't have, few men too, but mostly other really smart, driven women. But for me, it was the power of the business model. I had no idea what direct sales really was. I just knew it was something that those Mary Kay ladies did.
Right.
And, I really have been fascinated learning about direct sales and seeing how powerful that is, because I walk two lines. I walk that day job, corporate America line, and then I walk this direct sales line. And it's just so interesting to have seen how quickly I can grow in direct sales, and how empowering that is for me too. Mm-hmm. I love my day job. I love what I do for my company. I'm the marketing manager, and it's fascinating. I've learned a ton there, and I wouldn't trade that, but I also wouldn't trade the speed at which I've been able to grow R+F and what that's done for my family. So yeah. What's surprising for me is just the strength of that model.
Yeah, I know I agree with everything you just said. So I'm curious, Kristin, what did you have any hesitations when you started your business?
Oh yeah, I was really afraid of. I don't want to just say failure, because I think everybody's a little bit afraid of failing. I was afraid of looking like an idiot and having people judge me. And that's what I really chewed over in my mind those 2 days where I thought about this. And ultimately, for me, the fear of missing out and the fear of getting left behind on something that could be literally life-changing for me was stronger than the fear of looking stupid.
Yeah, right.
I look stupid all the time, with or without direct sales business. So I just figured, why not go for it?
Right, exactly. Exactly. I hear you.
Yeah. And the other hesitation was just that I'd never done anything like it. But I mean, why not try? That was really my thought about it when I would lay there at night having my R+F insomnia those nights, just why not try? Why not try it? What's the worst thing that could happen to me?
Right.
Okay, the worst thing that could happen is I hate it and I stop. Okay, I can live with that.
Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, exactly. You guys can care for a year or whatever.
Right.
It's just,
right.
it's such a small investment in the big scheme of life, right? I mean, it's not like it's
Right.
chump change, but in the big scheme of things, it's, I almost considered it kind of like taking a class, a college level class or something. That was what I was thinking about when I did my investment. So, so that's great. And it sounds like the hesitations didn't really live their fullest fantasy. You didn't come out.
No, I didn't die.
Yeah.
I didn't die. I didn't fail. And 6 years later, just about 6 years later, I think my road anniversary is right behind yours. I don't remember my exact date. August something, I think. But I didn't die, and I love it, and I'm so grateful that you found it.
Yeah.
Attention.
Yeah, it's been fun growing with you for sure. Yeah. So if you could give somebody like one piece of advice who is, I mean, just kind of like looking at this, watching this, thinking, what about Rodan+Fields? Like, what would you tell them?
I think don't overthink it. Whoever, if you're watching someone, go ask them some questions or something. Ask them some questions, their brain a little bit, and then don't spend a lot of time thinking it and analyzing it. Just like the skincare itself, the business has a money back guarantee. So if you try it and hate it, nothing bad will happen to you.
Right.
If it's something that you're mulling over in your head, just give it a shot.
That's a great piece of advice.
The worst you'll walk away with is really nice skin.
Yeah, and a few more friends, right?
Yeah. Exactly. How about you?
So my biggest piece of advice, following on, I agree with everything you just said, and then really just jumping in, with both feet and doing it. We have great mentoring in our businesses, and we have so many people. The training online as well as consultant to consultant is incredible. So, I mean, it's all a win-win, and just go for it, and really tamping down those mental meanies, I call them now, mental meanies in our heads that are telling us, you can't do that. People will laugh at you. And I'm like, okay, well, I wasn't on Facebook 6 years ago. Literally. I mean, I didn't have a Facebook account 6 years ago. And here we are, like, technology and all this great stuff. And, with our rewards programs as well as our compensation. I mean, there's so many fun things that we can do with Rodan+Fields. It's just, just do it.
Yeah. There's totally nothing to lose. I'm with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, awesome. Well, I need to go chase my kids down to the park. I know they
perfect
with me, but I just want to say for anybody who's taking a peek at this live or later, if you've got questions, Robin and I are open books. We're happy to answer any questions you have. You can direct message us or drop them in the comments. So have a great day, everybody. Thanks, Robin, for letting me do this with you.
Yeah, absolutely. This was so much fun, Kristin. I'll chat with you later. Give the kids a hug for me. All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right.